Kicked 2, and for Port Adelaide, Scott Cummings got 3, Eagleson got 3, and Peter Burgoyne kicked 2 goals.
And our fourth umpire, good afternoon, John Russo.
Good afternoon, Drew. And that boulevard still looks pretty full, so I'd say the crowd certainly will build up in the first quarter.
They're getting here late. Down on the boundary line, good afternoon, Bruce Abernathy.
Afternoon, Drew. How are you?
All right, well, looking forward to this, and, well, how do you think Port will go, your old mob?
Well, it's been a long summer, and last year it was successful. They've aimed to make the finals. That's the only way they can say that they've improved this year. It was very quiet in the rooms, I think, just nervous with the start of the year, start of the second year. I can't wait for it.
Well, we can't wait either. The ground in magnificent condition, and players sorting themselves out. There's Michael O'Loughlin running behind the umpire, working out where he's going to be. And we get underway at Football Park. And Primus goes in ruck against Stafford, comes straight away to the Swans, and they kick it out of the centre circle up towards the front edge of the square. O'Loughlin fires out a great hand pass. Maxfield from 35 metres gets the first goal within 10 seconds. It'll be a pretty handy toss to win. Decent breeze at the backs of the Swans in the first quarter, and if they can get a break by quarter time, that will help to take the home crowd out of the game. And look at this gang tackle. 3 of them getting hold of the ball carrier before he had a chance to breathe.
We had a strange positioning. Paul Roos is on the wing at the moment on Donald Dickey. It'll be interesting to see what kind of setup is going to evolve from that. Paul Roos plays a lot of spots, but rarely on a wing.
O'Brien gets a kick up towards the front edge of the centre square. O'Loughlin features again, but well done out of defence by Kingsley. Kelly out near centre wing, fires out the hand pass, which was beautifully delivered to Orchard. He floats one over the top, and they're off and running the Swans. That was Saddington, who was picked up in the draft and starts in the 18, a young kid. And it looks as though there's a problem here for John Stevens. Straight away, might have dislocated a finger.
You certainly called the help there, Drew. And poor Kelly's been picked up by Michael Wilson from the Port Adelaide.
Boundary throw in. Primus and Stafford. Well done, Primus. Caught by Philandia. David and Goliath. Down he goes. Ball up. I think there's a bit going on between Primus and Stafford. Bit of a chat. Number 26, the umpire, Vince Cercia, with David Ackland and Hayden Kennedy today. Well done by Stafford. Hand pass fired out. Barry gets a good one. Maxfield again. He's kicked his second. We're back, and we've been playing less than 2 minutes of actual football, and Stuart Maxfield has kicked 2 goals. In the middle, little toe poke out of the centre circle, and Port have hardly had the ball yet for a possession, and here they get one eventually. Kingsley's kick up towards half forward, and now they're off and running. And the kick out wide. Cummings on the 50, takes it back outside the 50 to Lyle. Hospital hand pass. He was buried by Creswell virtually the minute he got it.
Just the Port Adelaide forward line, give you an idea how that's lined up. Cummings is at full forward, Luff's his direct opponent. Lade is playing as a tall marking forward pocket. Carey's against him. Across the half forward line, Morton, Poole and Burgoyne. That's the general structure. Just a 2-man marking full forward line for Port.
Roos against Poole. Poole wins it for Port. Here's Maxfield again. He's kicked 2 goals, and here he is at half-back flank. Up towards centre wing. Camped underneath at Bond, but he couldn't take the mark. The hand pass came out quickly from Daniels, but they've lost it. Stevens now for the Swans. Good dive by Barry. Unsuccessful attempt. Hard tackling by the Swans. But Port stand up to the pressure, and ball's cleared out towards centre wing for Bond, who strolls down the wing. Kicks towards the 50. Carey dropped it. It comes to the back, and a chance for Port to get their first goal through Poole. Dive by Cummings. Off hands and through for a minor score.
Well, they're just the kind of half chances you have to take, really. Scott Cummings had the chance to take a chest mark 2 metres out, but fumbled it through from behind. So things are certainly going with the Swans at this early part of the game, Hawk.
Certainly is, Lee, and plus in the Swans forward line, there's only 2 players down there, Lockett and Barry for the Swans.
Roos kicks towards half forward. Here's Stephen Carey. Well, he's going bald, so he's gone the complete job for the shave. He shares it with O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin beaten to the ball. but he gets it again. Play on ruled the umpire. The hand pass fell short of Stafford. He goes in to apply the tackle, and it'll be a ball up.
I think at this very early stage of the game, the thing that impressed us most about Port last year was their speed at the tackle and the chase and their real pressure at the contest. In this first 5 minutes of the game, it's the Swans have actually, I think, got the initiative in that really important, real hardness at the contest area.
No doubt, Lee. They've been second on the ball, the Port Adelaide side.
Stafford wins the hit out and gets it inside the 50. Comes back to him. He's going well. Left-handed handball. Well picked up for Landia. A centering kick, but he didn't centre it as much as he wanted to. And the mark by Huskus. Former Sydney Swans player himself, but an All-Australian when he came over to play for Port last year. Michael Wilson, the Norwich Rising Star last year. Up towards centre wing. Carey from behind punches away and gets the ball away from Poole. To see Poole back. Groin problems restricted him to 10 games last year. Throw in. He wins the hit out, Poole. And terrific roving by Eagleton. Off the left. On the bounce to Cummings, who gets rid of his opponent. It should be a goal coming up. Burgoyne. Peter Burgoyne, a great running goal there for the Port Power. Bit of body work going on off the ball. Eagleton going shoulder to shoulder with Maxfield, who's kicked 2 goals already. And Primus beats Stafford. Bit of a fumble, but eventually the ball cleared by Franco. And the defensive mark taken by Nix back at half-back. Nix towards the outer side. Creswell goes to ground, front on charge. It's a free kick to Creswell.
And by the way, the guy who kicked that goal to Burgoyne was Eagleton, who's playing on Maxfield, has kicked 2 goals for the Swans, so Maxwell gave Eagleton a fair bit of room on that occasion.
I guess we see it all the time. You run much quicker forward than you do backwards. I think this is a standard thing with most footballers.
You certainly do.
We're the opposite.
Yeah. Kick by Creswell, punch to the front. Kelly, great roving. One out is Lockett. Under pressure from Paxman, couldn't take the mark and the ball out of bounds.
I guess I should rephrase that. You run much faster into attack than you do into defence. So we're not talking running backwards.
When you're chasing a bloke, Lee, some blokes put the head down. They don't look too hard, do they?
Very hard to run hard on the chase.
Well, the ball knocked out by Mead, who won the best and fairest last year. So he'll go on the notice board in their first year in the AFL for Port Power. He's the first ever best and fairest. Stafford and Primus again. Well, now the Rovers required. Locked up in there. Bond floats the hand pass out. Dickey tried to get it back in, blocked by Ruse. And a throw in inside half forward for the Swans. Their only meeting last year was in round 11 when Sydney won over here by 35 points. They blocked up Port, flooded the back line and restricted Port to just 4 goals. Ball knocked down in the path of Bond. Beats 1, beats 2. Very well played. Out of defence by Wilson. Dickey in there for the tackle. That could be holding it. No, ball up. Well, the Port crowd wanted a free.
Lee, Chris Nash is picking up Stewie Maxfield now, so obviously a change made by John Carr.
And Cercia to ball it up again. Bright start by the Swans, getting 2 goals in the opening 90 seconds. Both to Maxfield. Stafford wins the tap, comes to Ruse, who was under pressure. Back to Stafford. There's won some kicks after originally winning the hit out. Crunching through the pack was Kelly. Plays big for his size, there's no doubt about that. And terrific mark taken by Kingsley, who left his man and got to the front.
And very early in the game, in fact, Kelly went for that possession, has been pushed forward. Something Rotten Yu does quite regularly with Paul Kelly, but rarely this early in the game.
Bad bounce for Lyle. Oh, Creswell gave it straight up. Paxman, Lyle, terrific exchange of hand pass. Eagleton. Back to Paxman up the ground. Running off Tony Lockett. Carey. Stephen Carey again, very well played. Maxfield, a good trap, but loses it in the tackle. Now here's a chance for Poole. He works the ball out to Lyle. Up to full forward, Cummings caught behind it. Mark favouring. Here's Scott Cummings, 30 metres from goal. O'Loughlin gets back. And it's through for a minor score.
Well, I think that was pretty poor play by Cummings. There was two Port Adelaide players streaming into open field, and I think he chose to do the U-turn. Pretty standard team rule at most league clubs. No U-turns. Always look for the player coming from upfield. It's not that easy to kick the ball over your shoulder. So I don't know whether the runner might end up pretty quickly out to Cummings just to alert him to the fact, feed it off to the players coming through.
O'Loughlin being told by the umpire to get on with it, son. Goes towards the outer side. Roos under pressure. Terrific play on that occasion by Franco to get the ball away from Paul Roos and out of bounds.
And just touching on Roos there, it looks like he's playing as a ruck rover with Troy Luff playing at full-back on Scott Cummings. So at the moment, Roos certainly looks like he's playing on the ball.
Well, I think he is, and Bond at the moment is the spare player for Port Adelaide. So, in fact, I think what you'll find is that Stevens has moved up onto the wing on Dickey, and at the moment, I think you find Roos is virtually going to an extra on-baller, and Bond is the spare Port player who has to decide what's he do in his positioning. Does he hang back as a spare half-back, or does he push forward himself? It was interesting this game last year, it was well documented or well publicised that in fact the Sydney positioning had supposedly caught Port Adelaide out. So I would think this would be a game that John Cale would be pretty keen to make sure from his own personal point of view that it's not seen that Rodney Eade, as they say, out-coaches him.
Clean possession by Poole.
And it appears as well Promise is playing a kick forward of the ball towards Port Adelaide's goals here.
You often find that, yeah, dropping forward, and I think good play by Stafford. He ended up staying and doing the ruck work, not getting drawn out of his position.
Lachlan with the free, up to a big pack at centre wing. Creswell can't keep it in, and we'll have a throw in.
But mention again, we're always intrigued when we watch the Swans play, because Paul Roos is the player they use in unusual kind of roles. It may be that he'll actually be the running defender. Today, as I said, they've lined him up on the wing, but he's just playing really as an extra non-baller. He contested the knockout then, as we saw, but he does some unusual jobs.
And won it. Played on Harry Madden in the ruck once, didn't he?
Yes, was a very talented player, Paul Roos, we know that.
Carey missed with his attempted soccer away. Saddington gets the ball back. O'Loughlin over centre wing. And it dives out of Mark Leo. Barry, magnificent mark. Into Roos. Now the Swans running again. And after the ball was delivered...
Silly play by Donald Dickey, John.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when players know that an opponent has disposed of the ball, it's just really undisciplined to do that, because with three umpires, they're on a hiding to nothing.
That was it, Hawk. That was the only thing that was ever going to happen. The kick had left the boot. All it was going to be was a 50-metre kick downfield at the end of it.
The word that I use, Lee, and John, I'd say it was very dumb. It was a very dumb decision to make there.
Unlike anything you ever did, Hawk.
No, John's a ball player, as you know.
That's right.
Which balls I play most times.
Fancy the kick down the field, going to all people.
Aren't you happy if you're the player on the end of that? Tony Lockett, stand there, mind his own business.
Doesn't even have to take the
kick
mark.
it goal from 30 metres out.
He's off and running. So Stevens downed in midfield by Dickey. The relayed free to Tony Lockett. And Plugger gets his first goal. The Swans have 3 on the board. What a way to give Lockett his first goal. Creswell gets a difficult one out. Roos misses with his kick. The ball's back in the centre circle.
Haven't seen much of Darren Creswell, Lee, so far in his first quarter. I don't think he really hasn't touched the football this game.
No, not at this point. Hasn't worked his way into the game.
Primus wins in ruck. Magnificently defended by Wharf. And the Swans tackling hard and in numbers. And that'll be a ball up.
And it looks like Lee Kelly's gone into the forward pocket now, and his opponent appears... I don't think it is Michael Wilson at this stage.
No,
he had him early.
Yeah, Adam Huskis has actually taken him when he went forward, and Wilson has stayed in the midfield. I think they've been trying pretty hard, the Swans, to make sure that Huskis is actually kept back to the full back line as much as possible.
High tackle.
High Tackle called by a fourth umpire, John Russo, and agreed to by the field umpire. Wharf takes the free. Roos once again finds himself in plenty of space. And pass over the top is good. Saddington. Lockett at the back. Had a chance. And all they want to do all day is kick the ball away from Lockett. Kingsley rushed to behind.
It's a regulation catch there, Lee, for Tony Lockett. Should drop those.
I guess they're sort of those first quarter errors, aren't you? Sometimes early in the game, you haven't really sort of relaxed, got your rhythm, haven't got the hands, the ball handling sharp, and sometimes those very easy marks can just go begging.
Doesn't matter how good you are either.
Can happen.
Poole contesting hard. Caught by Orchard. Burgoyne. Exchange of hand passing, fantastic. Burgoyne kept on flowing up the ground. His left footer towards the 50. Armat. Through Luff it goes. Awkward half volley for Carey. He's in. Oops, a bother. Hacked out of the air, down towards the forward pocket, and out of bounds.
Yes, as soon as the hand pass goes to the feet of the target player, he is in trouble because, one, it's going to test his ball handling skills. Secondly, even if he does take possession, he has to bend over, straighten again, and by that stage, the tackler's on him. And really, it was that handball error has kept the ball in the Port Adelaide forward line.
Carey and Lade contesting. Paul Kelly with dash out of defence. Stevens. Kelly doing the shepherding. He followed right up. John Stevens still going. To Lockett. Great play by the Swans. Well, you could hardly work the ball better from back pocket to full forward than that.
Yeah, that was copy, but wasn't Hawke. But it was Kelly who won the ball out of that boundary throw in, and Kelly who did the shepherd on the wing to support the ball carrier.
Well, amazing, Kelly. He's a player who I regard he's in his own club. It's called the 100-metre club. He runs about 40 metres and normally kicks the ball 60 metres. Only about 10 guys in the league who can do that, and he's a guy who can do it. And his shepherd there for his teammate was just sensational.
Set it up and supported the ball carrier.
Unbelievable. He is a super player.
He's a great runner. A class player who's a worker bee as well, which is exactly what you're looking for.
He's your rounder, Lee.
Tony Lockett for his second. The first was from a relayed free. This from a mark. That's a poor old kick from a man who's kicked so many goals. Big leap, great mark by Creswell. Well, that's almost reminiscent of the mark he took against Hawthorn to win a final in the last minute.
He doesn't do it a lot, but he does it enough to make us think that, yeah, every now and again, that pack marking situation, you don't think of Darren Creswell as a marking player, but every now and again gets the fly at the pack in the goal square.
He may have heard me cook him about 5 minutes earlier.
Let's talk him through it. What do you think he'll do here, Hook? He's going to go for the banana.
He's got to go for banana. Has to go for banana.
What's the percentages?
Probably 1 out of 10. He may have got it.
All you knew, he's not going to have another 9.
Well, Darren Creswell, he's a freak. When he first started, he probably wasn't much more than a tagger, but he's gone on to win a best and fairest All-Australian. How about that for an aerial mark over a pack for a man his size, and then a banana kick. In the back, so Philandia will take a free kick, and look who's waiting for it. Paul Kelly, out of the middle with penetration. Lockett. Hands to it, but couldn't take the mark. Leo Barry right on the boundary line. Concede some ground to O'Loughlin, who'd float up the field.
That was just great vision there by Leo Barry. I mean, he could have gone long to the goal square, but took the blinkers off and spotted his teammate Michael O'Loughlin there. Great play by Barry.
If you can give a player a set shot within the forward 50 at a half reasonable angle, well, that's the play, isn't it? And blazing away from the boundary lines, every now and again a spectacular goal will be kicked, but more often than not, they'll be spectacular behinds.
I think great vision was the word I was trying to get there, Lee.
Terrific.
The Swans have come to play. They've kicked 4 goals to 1 already. And a shot for goal for Michael O'Loughlin from 40 metres out. And he's got it. So back at Football Park, and Sydney 5-1 lead Port Adelaide 1-2. And we're late in the first quarter, but there's time for more goals here for the Swans. Poole takes the mark at centre half forward. A hand pass back. Long kick to the forward line. Cummings behind, fumbles, has a chance, goals. So both full forwards are on the board now. Cummings getting his first. Lockett has kicked 1. Matthew Primus faces Greg Stafford in the middle. Primus palms it down, flips out Sydney's way. Orchard. Good hands, Kelly. But he's lost it. Primus. Good block by Roos. Smothering the hand pass. Then going in for the tackle on Wilson. And the ball out of play on centre wing.
That was an interesting setup at that centre bounce. Stuart Maxfield went and basically played about 30 metres out from the Port Adelaide goal. His direct opponent, Eagleton, stayed out on the half-forward flank. It then becomes, Dougie, a question of percentages. Who's the most likely to be used?
Exactly right, Lee. You take your choice, you take that chance. But just touching on Port Adelaide, on their half-forward line, Lade's been very quiet, been well held by Stephen Kerry, and of course Poole been very quiet, well held by Wharf.
Solid bump was delivered out there. And the whistle, and it's going to be a Port Adelaide free kick, much to the pleasure of the local fans, against Leo Barry. And it'll be taken by Wilson.
That is their first free kick, so no wonder they're cheering. I think they're keeping count.
That was a big one.
Is that a kick, Johnny?
That was certainly a kick. I think it might even be more than a kick.
There is some strange expectation in the game, however, that the free kick should be equal, which of course is not the case.
They haven't written that rule yet. Well, it doesn't say they have to be equal at the end.
Very clever in midfield. And the hand pass delivered out to Eagleton, but the Swans are tackling and smothering and doing everything right. This is Naish, former Richmond, goes for goal, off hands, and a behind. So he hit the post. Scott Cummings, who made his debut for Essendon and kicked 8 goals, which was against the Sydney Swans. It was a Sunday at the MCG. Wharf up towards centre wing. Stevens can't mark. Roos Rose. Great delivery. And the mark taken by Stafford. Stafford to a one-out contest with Lockett. They get back to help out Paxman. And that is terrific play. The mark by Mead. Now to Paxman.
He's just a really good height percentage player, Darren Mead. Doesn't play outside his limitations. Always makes the correct decision.
Lade did very well there to Bond. And a perfect kick to Dickey. The hand pass into Eagleton. Eagleton with penetration to full forward. Cummings. Luff is his man. It comes to the front. Good tackle by Naish. And a ball up inside the 50.
The crowd screaming for a holding the ball decision there. I mean, if a player grabs the ball and is immediately tackled and the force of the tackle dislodges it, it's got to be play on. And to scream ball then is just a misunderstanding of the rules.
Wharf. Naish, good hand pass. Eagleton. Hooked it back too far. Luff, who was actually a forward and a goal kicker 2 years ago when they made the grand final, and now he's filling in at full back while Dunkley's under suspension.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned this, Bruce, and just those couple of kicks into the Port forward line, there's certainly, it's much more difficult to kick the ball any distance to this right of screen where Port Adelaide are aiming this quarter.
That'll be a ball up. Umpire David Ackland.
And as we have this situation down the opposite end of the centre-half forward position, you've got Primus and Stafford, the two ruckmen. It's obvious that the Swans are prepared to give away a little bit of height in these forward knockwork contests to make sure that Primus can't just float across the half-back line and just block it up, which he does so well. I think this looks dangerous, though. I really look at when you see, well, Carey's doing the ruck work here against Poole, which is a much better match-up than Wharf and Poole.
Down went Poole. The fans want a free kick. Johnny Russo.
Absolutely nothing in it, mate. I mean, Poole was just trying to pinch a free kick from 25 metres out, and David Ackland didn't get sucked in, and hopefully we could maybe get another look at it. But Poole was just trying to pinch one, in my opinion.
The Academy Awards have been given this year.
He was after the extra one.
Well done by Carey. But it's in the corridor. If Port can get it here, it could be trouble. And beautifully read by Mooney. Ahmad lost a boot, left it behind, up to Creswell. Philandia, good mark. Peter Philandia, Lockett in the goal square. It's in that direction. You're in trouble, Paxman. Off hands to Roos. Oh, it's smothered off the boot. Magnificent smother.
What do you think, Dave?
That's got to be a free kick, Johnny. You saw that. I reckon Stephen Paxman interfered when the ball wasn't 5.
Let's have a look at this.
Is the rule still 5 metres?
Yeah, the rule is 5 metres, and it's difficult to judge the distance, but it's certainly easy to judge the time. And and the ball is supposed to travel 5 metres in about a third of a second. So as soon as you see two actions, it's almost certainly that the ball was beyond 5 metres. So if you see the bump, then the attempt to mark or contest, then it's
play on.
certainly
I've got to say, they might have tore the stadium down if that was a free kick, though. There wasn't a hell of a lot in it.
No, that's right. The umpires have been told that it should put the player, if it puts the player out of the contest, to pay it. And in those situations, it's very difficult to be consistent, because the football public see the incident. They don't necessarily judge whether it put him out of the contest or not.
What I'm always interested in is the interpretation, the fact that Patsman was coming towards the front of Lockett. I'm never sure whether the umpires don't allow the player spoiling a little bit of leniency when he's coming with the ball. You can't really seem to make any contact at all with the marking player much.
That's right.
A little kick up the ground by Burgoyne, and from centre wing, the Swans get it to centre half forward. Primus getting back in defence to take the mark. Paxman attempting to run off Lockett, and the kick in the direction of Paxman. Look out, here comes Big Plugger. Paxman did pretty well, and 50 against Lockett.
I think Plugger was maybe a bit lucky not to get pinged the first time, because when Paxman took the mark, there really is no need at all to claim him. Now, Plugger claimed him there and made sure he went to the ground, then tried to do the next thing and knock the ball out of his hands. I think we've seen 150 metre for maybe 2 half 50-metre penalties.
So Paxman, the full-back, kicks to full forward. It gets through to the back. Here's an open goal laid. So Brendan Lade, playing about 20 metres behind the pack, gets a lucky goal, and Porto within 10 points. So I think with this breeze blowing, the Swans would want a bigger lead than that at quarter time. Roos flips the ball out. And a chance there for Daniels. Down he goes. Hurried kick out of the pack up towards half forward. Eagleton's there. Armat, former Collingwood player. Under pressure, Creswell. Somehow to Carey. Through Orchard it goes to Nix. Nix long kick. Kelly is there. He wants to play on. Oh, and did it. Did he play on, John?
Yeah, well, look, when the player makes that very sudden action to play on, in my opinion, well, the umpire is instructed to call play on immediately. Once Kelly makes that spontaneous decision now to keep going, the umpire should be calling play on.
Well, he had second thoughts about it. He was allowed to go back to have a shot. Just 15 metres out. Good kick. I think he's got it. And being allowed to go back and taking a set shot. Gets the Swans 6th. Good steadier. Stafford wins in the middle. And there is the siren for quarter time here at Football Park. Well, the margin's 16 points. Be interesting to know whether the breeze is worth more than 16. Port will run with it in the second quarter. I don't know that Jack Cale can be too upset with that quarter. And welcome back to Football Park, with the Swans leading by 16 points at quarter time, but they had first use of the breeze. Tony Lockett has one so far, and Scott Cummings, the other full forward, has one. Major goal scorer Maxfield, who kicked 2 goals in the first 90 seconds. Down on the boundary line. Now, Bruce Abernathy, I was talking about the breeze, and the Swans had it in the first quarter. How much of it is getting down to you there at ground level?
Well, Drew, it's maybe misleading. The flags on top of the stand look like it's pretty windy, but on the ground in the middle, maybe 1.5, 2 goals. And apart from the first 2 goals to Stewie Maxfield, John Cale would have to be happy with Port Adelaide. Of course, he wasn't. He was upset with his forward pockets, his half forwards. They were instructed to stay out wide. They didn't. They crowded the forward, and they should work harder. Rodney Eade, he was reasonably happy, reasonably low-key, and well, there were a couple of goals up, but we'll see about the win this quarter.
Start of the second quarter here at Football Park. Primus facing Stafford again. 2 very athletic big men. Bounce favours Primus. And he rips out clean possession with a kick that didn't go anywhere. Robbie Armat. Support from Roos up from halfback. Out to Maxfield, who destroyed them early. Maxfield's kick inside the 50. Lockett caught behind. Magnificent mark taken by Mead.
Just amazing, isn't it, to think that this guy's only in his second year of AFL football. As we said, best and fairest last year for Port, and a terrific debut year.
Eustace's kick, terrific mark by Naish. Chris Naish kicks up towards half forward. Laid almost. Franku peeling for a free kick, not getting it. Hand pass is knocked on. And the Swans out of trouble. Armat. Kelly, doesn't he cover the ground? What a perfect disposal. Stafford just behind the wing. He goes into midfield. He's got Stevens. Stevens pokes it up high. Lockett makes a contest of it. Philandia's hand pass. O'Loughlin in space. Certain goal.
At the moment, O'Loughlin is actually going into play around the centre-half forward position, trying maybe, I think, to give an opponent for Darren Mead, who is maybe a bit too mobile. I think Mead in the air is pretty good and pretty effective against all the marking centre-half forwards.
Well, Poole's hand pass missed the target. Now Stevens, who's had a good game after receiving a knock early. And it was a relayed free that finished up in a goal to Lockett. Creswell, who, like Kelly, is roving the field. Lockett. Haven't seen him lead once yet. Huskus. Smothered by Barry. Philandia. It's close. I think he's kicked it. Well, they're two important goals by the Swans into the breeze to start this second quarter. So they've started both quarters brilliantly. Stafford. Overrun by Maxfield. He comes back to it. Eagleton. The other number 11. Roos's hand pass. Creswell. Orchard. Great hands. Maxfield. Roos. Stevens again. Run down from behind. Put him off his kick. Mead. Out to Lyle. And now Paxman. Huskus. Got rid of it quicker that time. Awkward half volley. Set the ball up beautifully for Nix. Stafford. The Swans using the ball magnificently. Kelly a 20-metre hand pass. Philandia, who set up a goal this quarter and kicked one. Lock it up high. And gave away the free kick.
Definitely a free kick there, Johnny Russo.
Yeah, that's the one we were talking about, actually, if we get to see it again. But we won't. Oh, yes, we may. Here we see it now. No. If there are two actions like that, then it's almost invariable that the umpires will penalise the player that does it.
So Paxman takes the free.
Once again, Port Adelaide turned the footy over. Has been very ordinary on occasions here, and Swans are making them pay by their bad mistakes, Port Adelaide.
Kingsley up over centre wing. Ball seen over the boundary line by Nix. Now here's the smother again by Leo Barry. That is just a great goal maker.
Great smother, but I must say you would have thought Adam Huskus would have seen the smother coming and may have pulled out of the right foot kick, gone on the left side or something.
No doubt.
Lade's kick went nowhere, and Lyle's kick rather, and Maxfield intercepted. And now Port are working their way out of defence. Huskus might have taken one step too many again, but this time he got the kick away. Centre of the ground, Eagleton. One out is Cummings. He gets behind Luff. But out in the forward pocket.
It's interesting, Paul Roos still cruising around in a vacant sort of position. I don't think Donald Dickey's not quite sure what to do, whether to go with him, stay out on the wing, because Stevens, as I say, he keeps pushing up to the wing after the centre bounces, and Bond's the one who is getting a bit confused about where he should be doing.
Luff concedes it behind.
I don't think Roos really cares at this stage who's playing on him. He just seems to be playing the ball like the old days as a kid.
Yeah, it's more the fact that Roosy is such a good ball getter. You know, he's a very dangerous player to let him play his own positioning.
And it'd be a bit of a clue to go with him, because he'd take you to the ball a bit, wouldn't he?
He'd give you some idea,
yeah.
I reckon, Drew. Gee whiz.
Carey to Stafford. Good spoil. Franco in front. Showed him a clean pair of heels. Floats over the hand pass. And a chance for Burgoyne for his second. Not a great kick, but it gets there. .21 points the margin, and that was Port's first goal of this second quarter, so they've used up a fair bit of wind-assisted time, nearly 7 minutes to get their first goal. Another ball up.
And young Orchard, Lee's got the job on Burgoyne, who's kicked 2 goals and appears to be very dangerous up in Port Adelaide.
He's a very quick, classy, small forward, isn't he? He always looks like he's got a chance of bursting through. Like this kid too, Eagleton. I think he's a good little player.
He is a good player.
Poole's hand pass, running past Bond. Lade, but too wide. Even if Lade had marked that, it wouldn't have liked his chance of kicking a goal from there.
Both times Porter gone forward, it appears they've gone very deep to that far side of the ground, not kick the ball towards the centre.
Yeah, I've got to feel the wind is probably pushing it out there, so you really have to direct it to the left, the near side of the ground where we're watching it from, and the ball will blow back into the centre corridor.
Flipped over the back. Kelly hits it at 100 miles an hour. Ruse, Ahmad showed them the ball and then took it away. These hand passes brilliantly blocked. Well done by Dickey. I thought he took it over. Yes, it's out of bounds.
Yes, well, what's that duel? I've spoke about it a few times. The Ruse, Dickey, Stevens bomb. That little foursome, because it's a question of which two of those players, which side gets the benefit from the fact that there really is not two pairs playing, but a bit of floating freedom for most of those four players.
Two players go to ground, both with eyes on the ball. Here's a big chance now. Wide out in the forward pocket, hooked back towards goal. A magnificent goal! Well, Nathan Eagleton with a brilliant running goal from the forward pocket, and he gets Port within 15 points. So 2 goals each in this quarter. Comes down. Eagleton out of the middle again. A dive by Luff, he's missed it. Cummings fires out the hand pass. Burgoyne round the corner. And Carey's there in the last line. No distance with the kick, but Maxfield camped underneath it to mark. 8-1 Sydney, 5 goals, 4 Port. So equal scoring shots, but 15 points the difference. Stephen Carey at half-back couldn't take the mark. Dickey fires the hand pass to Wilson, who drops it in the tackle. Franco, they're under pressure, Port. Nix, they're under pressure, Sydney. Well done, Eagleton. He's had a brilliant couple of minutes. Terrific hand pass. Franco round the corner is a perfectly delivered kick.
And I think that was all set up by Cummings, who was coming back with the flight of the ball against Carey, but he actually turned his back and backed into Carey, John, and otherwise he would have been free kick. I thought that was a really good, intelligent piece of play to keep the ball in the area without giving away the free kick, and then there was a lot of touches of the ball before someone got a constructive disposal.
That was Wilson to Franco. Franco kicks for goal. He's away to the left.
And that wind is basically dragging it exactly that direction. It's certainly favouring left of screen, but pushing from far side to the camera side in terms of its actual direction.
Kick in is good, and Saddington takes the mark. There's an interesting bloke from the Eastern Rangers. Swans #1 pick in the October draft, but his first kick here today hasn't covered him in glory. Poole to take the free. He can't get past Creswell. Wilson taken to ground. Burgoyne. Clever kick to put it out in front of the goal square. But Luff took a good mark standing his ground. Trouble for Orchard.
Oh.
Creswell keeps it in. Spirals it to centre wing. All Port, and Huskis takes the mark.
Now they're the ones, I mean... Oh, the game goes on.
Kingsley, about 40 metres from goal. Poole. Chris Nash! Port Adelaide have kicked the last 3 goals, and they're within 8 points.
It's very much in the background.
Out of the middle towards half forward, but Mead marks. Towards the outer wing, and moving it all right. Lyle. Kick by Lyle towards half forward. Franco, all punched away by Nix. Back near the centre circle. Up inside the 50. Bounces over Cummings. Wharf to O'Loughlin. Michael O'Loughlin, another All-Australian from last year. Always seems to have plenty of time. Spilt mark could be costly. It comes through to Stafford, who surely tackled him when he didn't have the ball.
I agree with you.
There was no free kick, no signal of advantage, just nothing paid whatsoever. And now that's a poor kick to the forward line, out of bounds near half forward.
I think, in fact, sorry, John.
Sorry, come on, you go.
I was going to say, I think it was a good kick because he looked up through and he didn't have anywhere to kick it. All he did did was make sure, and it was definitely a free kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, no doubt about that. Bond certainly didn't take possession of the footy, and Stafford just threw him to the deck.
Lyle runs into a dead end of Stevens.
But as I was saying, what I thought Mead did well, he looked up and there was no Port players on, so he kicked it long and wide. So he was going to get 50 metres. It was probably going to go out of bounds. So I think sometimes getting length and putting the ball out of play is the best option available.
I think O'Loughlin's kick a bit earlier, Lee, was pretty ordinary. He was very well clear and missed his target by about 5 or 10 metres.
Port in an attack again. Cummings. He was swamped initially, but finished up with the football. Wolf's hand pass. Maxfield through the middle. Down the centre corridor. Now swinging out wide, a short pass. Putting the ball out in front. Mooney goes short to Barry. Too far out to score into the breeze. Lockett wants it long. Haven't really seen Plugger offer a lead today. He's camped underneath it. One out. He's got it. The hand pass. Oh, Creswell out of the air.
Campbell and Chris Dillon come off, and good luck to Creswell getting his foot to the footy. Gee whiz, that's very good, big Plugger there.
Creswell's kicked a couple of goals. Maxfield's kicked 2. O'Loughlin's kicked 2. Here's Franku now for Port. Beautiful pass. Nash fires off the hand pass. Lyle offline. And lucky to score anything.
Yes, they've got to take their chances. The Swans really aren't missing down the other end. 9 goals 1. That's terrific conversion. 6 goals 5. So certainly there's nothing in the game, but the extra accuracy, the better accuracy is keeping the Swans in front.
You'd like to kick him as easily as that every time. Wolf to O'Loughlin. Now it's at centre wing. Ball flipped out by Barry. Now Stevens having a good day. John Stevens. He survived open heart surgery to play AFL football and a knee reconstruction. Well done, sir.
Bionic man.
Yeah. And what's happened here, Lee, looks like Michael O'Loughlin, who's been well held by Mead in this second quarter. It looks like Rodney Eads pushed him up to the midfield.
Yeah, just pushed him up. They just try to float an extra player behind the play, don't they, the Swans, just to try and get that running game going.
Barry is a player who's stepped up over the last couple of years for the Sydney Swans. Been on the list for a while, but doing well. Adam Huskus, surrounded by former teammates here today.
We've got a position here where the Port Adelaide are outnumbering the Swans around where the contest is, but sort of 20, 30 metres away, you've got 3 Swans players.
Huskus, who was once so proud of the Sydney Swans that he actually had a haircut of the Sydney Opera House in his hair.
He's a different boy, isn't he?
He is. He's gone the fishnet stock.
He also liked the ladies' clothing.
He's a cool dude.
Tackling's tough in tight.
What about the ruck contest, Lee? How do you think that's going this stage? You think Primer's on... There's no real big
I don't think
dictator there at all.
Regardless of who's getting their hand of the ball, I don't think it seems to be influencing what happens, after they touch the ball. It's just a push and shove, and then it goes into the middle of the scrum of players, and it's a question of who can get it out. This time it was the Swans.
O'Loughlin. Chopped off in defence, and Eagleton is going all right. Kicks up towards centre wing. McPherson on the ground for the Swans. Marks on the chest. Back to the 50. O'Loughlin waits at the back, and he's got it. Here's Silky. Primus's hand pass, and they've worked it out of defence, but Wilson had to meet it hard, and he did it perfectly. The hand pass over the top by Nash. Franku. Now to the 50. Ruse never got near it. Comes down to Wolf. And back to Rowan Wolf. Oh, he went one step too far. He's gone.
Now, there's 3 players everywhere here. It's a question, can he find one of them and get it going quick enough? Got to think your way through, and he has.
Michael Figut's on this side.
And Michael Wilson, just one of the best tacklers in this outfit. That was a terrific tackle. Eagleton's kick up to the full forward pocket. And Carey seeks the sanctuary of the boundary line. Wins a throw-in.
A lot of space opening up in this game, and a lot of free players getting clear for both sides. So really it becomes who can make the least amount of errors, least amount of turnovers. And of course that was a critical one. Great trace, but you would have thought Wolf would have seen him coming.
Franku kicks for goal, hits the post. I think the whistle had gone before that.
Yes.
Got to come back.
can be a
That's
free kick
interesting.
for
I
late.
guess he would have paid the advantage if it had gone through for a goal.
Yeah, well, he didn't blow time on until after he saw it hit the post, so
and
yes.
that's fair enough.
Yep.
I don't think anyone should complain about that.
So it'll be a free kick to Lade.
I think the key point was it was an instinctive kick at the goal. It was as if he ran 20 metres. I don't think he could bring it back then,
That's right.
but it was a grab it and a quick kick.
Well, the goal he kicked in the first quarter, he didn't have a second to think about it. He just found himself 20 metres behind the pack, unmarked in front of goal. Let's try him on a set shot. And he gets away to the left.
Well, we know which way the wind's blowing. Those players down there should, Dougie. I thought he really just aimed pretty much centre and it went left with the breeze.
Yeah, certainly. They should allow more for the wind to draw that ball back to the right-hand side of the screen.
McPherson, who played in the grand final 2 years ago and went missing last year, played only 5 games. Nicks on centre wing. Saddington. O'Loughlin. He's a gun. Came from Adelaide originally to Sydney. Won All-Australian selection. Puskas also All-Australian. And just inside the boundary line.
It's calm defence, though, isn't it? I mean, he thought his way out of that situation when he was under intense pressure.
Little Danny Morton, ex-fit forward boy, a very good mark for his size.
Yep, magnificently. Naish. They've come from far and wide. Kick by Naish towards half forward. Wharf gets in front of Poole. Hand pass into McPherson. Low down. Mooney. He's off. Across the ground to Kelly. It's in good hands now with the skipper. Thump. Long. To Lockett. Who gets free. No mark. Primus gets the hand pass out. And now they're out of trouble. Kingsley. Naish. Good game. 12-point margin. Swans in front. Hand pass from Burgoyne comes into Franco. Oh, look at the space here. It's a Paxman running off Lockett. Oh, that could nearly be 50.
Doesn't have to be one or the other.
I agree with you.
It has to be a 50 or no.
If he's played on, then it's holding the ball. If he hasn't played on, it's 50.
What do you do here, John?
Taken, Paul Kelly drags him to the ground. 50-metre penalty without doubt.
No, I must admit, I think he might have played on, to be honest.
Well,
but just go, it's all a matter of opinion and judgment, but should be one or the other, we think, John.
Yep.
So the full-back kicks for goal. He's kicked it a mile. Just off hands. Actually, Cummings probably should have marked it.
That's the second time, in fact, that Paxman has charged up from full-back. He didn't get used the first time, and when it went back, Lockett almost marked it unopposed. And that's the kind of question where Lockett thinks to himself, oh, geez, I don't want to chase him all day, but what's my choice?
That's the ability of Paxman. He can run down the ground and get those kicks and maybe kick 1 or 2 goals.
And it's the kind of pressure the key defenders put on their forward opponents now to make sure that they have to chase them up the field, get them out of the forward line. Can't kick a goal when you've chased your opponent up the other end.
Certainly, Lee.
McPherson's hand pass, well done. Saddington playing in his first game. Dale Lewis just on the ground. He kicked into the back of a teammate. It comes to Nicks, who should stroll in for a goal. Hooked his kick badly from behind.
I think it's a great example there that where a player has one bounce is too many. I mean, he was only 25 metres out, 30 metres out. To have that bounce, Lee, I think he could have ran that 5 metres and steadied and kicked a goal. Give yourself plenty of time.
I must admit, I'm a believer in getting as close to the goal as you can, but that's no point if you end up being under pressure by running too close to an opponent.
Yep.
Dickey, hand pass back. Oh, magnificent tackle, dispossesses him. Creswell to Lewis. Concedes some ground. O'Brien. Lockett has another chance. Oh, he's dropped it. He's got another chance. Has to give off the hand pass. Ahmed. And he's missed it. You wouldn't believe they couldn't get a goal out of this.
No,
Or has
he
he missed it? He got it. Now, about to see a first gamer come on. Matthew Bode, who was number 3 pick in the pre-season draft. So they only got him a few weeks before the season, and here he is playing his first game. Good effort. Franco's kick. Up short of half forward. Naish. Chance. Offline.
Kicking themselves out of it, aren't they, Port? They they're trying so hard to get on turns for the Swans, and they're peppering away, but they're missing, and the Swans keep going forward and just kicking that goal or two to maintain a pretty comfortable lead.
Three more scoring shots, but they trail. So Primus is off and Bode is on, so it's a different balance to the side now. Stephen Carey takes the mark up on the logo centre wing.
See a few of those, don't we, Lee?
Yeah, you just don't know. I must admit, if you're an umpire, you think, well, do you pull them back or do you just allow it to go on? It's a fine line, isn't it?
Very, very fine.
Lewis to Stevens. Johnny Stevens is having a terrific game. He's coming up for his 9th kick. Taken 3 marks. Puts it out in front. Mooney! Well, he got in the way of Plugger, and I tell you what, Jason Mooney, I would be going to the insurance office on Monday and increasing my premiums.
I think Plugger made some contact there to Mooney's head then, I reckon, just quietly.
Yes, I must admit he was going pretty hard. We often say in football one of the hardest positions is to be a defender to stand in front of Tony Lockett. Not that hard being... definitely a free kick if he hadn't marked the ball.
To his teammate.
Hot tackle.
So Mooney right in front. Bangs home the goal. Another change for Port Adelaide. Stuart Dew coming on the ground to replace Bond. Dew played just 1 league game last year. Laid on the ball with Primus sitting on the bench. Saddington for the Swans. Out to Roos. Young to old. Roos across the ground and Nix. Well played by Paul Roos. Nix breaks free, or does he? Wilson got him. That's a high tackle on Philandia, but he plays on with it. Lockett's had a poor day, really. The hand pass back to the 50 to Kelly. Short pass, sets it up for the opposition to spoil, and they've done it successfully. Over centre wing.
Oh, good mark. Isn't that a good mark? That's the genuine winning a contest, isn't it?
A terrific mark by Burgoyne. To the goal square. Bouncing just to the wrong side of the goal post.
Not going for him. Just not going for him.
Not kicking him, Lee. And with Primus coming off the ground, Brendan Lade's been forced to go in the ruck, who'd been struggling at centre-half forward for him. And Stephen Carey's gone in the ruck as well on Lade.
Great mark by Burgoyne. Plenty of it. Roos a fumble.
Missed tackle though. The tackle was missed and the ball was cut out. The mistake wasn't made to pay.
Love to McPherson. Up to centre wing, Kelly. And out of bounds on the wing.
It's interesting, there's a certain speed that the tackling player has to approach, doesn't it, Hawk? If he actually just runs absolute flat out, well, then he can't change direction to lay the tackle. And I thought Cummings just attacked it a bit too hard rather than with that controlled speed at it.
I think, Lee, there's certain players you don't attack too hard. Players, particularly years ago, like Greg and Flower and these, you don't run them, you're never going to get them. They'll step you every time.
That was a poor kick in, wasn't it? I mean, it went straight to Roos, who was floating back into that half-back line.
And he's had the merest of 14 possessions well prior to half-time. Saddington, who's settled into his first game pretty well. Stevens long, won't reach Lockett. Might on the bounce, but he's a long way from goal. Paxman gets rid of him. Lewis, open forward line. Oh, Kelly right in front, 35 metres out.
His opponent was probably about 10 metres off there, Lee, off Kelly there. And I think he's been picked up by Adam Kingsley, I think, at this stage.
I think that's still Wilson on him. I mean, but Kelly's going forward quite a bit, but it's just very hard to stay alongside your opponent in general play, isn't it? I mean, you're both looking at the ball.
Kelly kicks another one. Sydney 12 goals too. Paul Kelly has now kicked 2 goals. 4 of the Swans have kicked 2. They don't include Lockett, who's kicked just 1. I'll give you a stat. Lockett's had more handballs than kicks. 2 kicks, 4 handballs. Oh, look at Kelly just crunching through. Goes up. Magnificent football. Oh, if he kicks this, how good will this be? Lockett's there and marks. Well, 2 Brownlow medalists, but Kelly, 9 votes out of 10.
I reckon if you open him up, Lee, and you see he's hard to be as big as he is just a machine, this guy.
He's a fantastic role model for Disney. The way he plays his football, the way he conducts his life, he's just a fantastic captain in all respects.
I think the word champion gets chucked around a bit too easy these days. This guy certainly fits right in that category. He is a champion.
So Tony Lockett lining up for his 2nd goal.
Think he'll kick it straight, or do you think he'll try and open up the angle, Hawk? What do you think?
Kick it straight, Lee, this one, the big fella. He'll go straight. He can't play on now.
No, he can't open the siren.
He can't play on Johnny Russo.
Yeah, well, the umpire in the centre of the ground has actually signalled the end of the quarter.
That'll be nothing, won't it?
No score.
Gee, you can be unlucky. Poor old Tony Lockett.
Yeah, well, that's interesting because the umpire at that end of the ground obviously didn't hear the siren. That was Vince Searcia. So if he didn't hear the siren, then nor did Tony Lockett.
So there's no doubt that is working for the Swans.
Now, down on the boundary line, Bruce Abernathy.
Yes, Drew, that wind, as we saw, the Sydney Swans actually made a lot of us. Wasn't a couple of goals in favour of Port Adelaide. They're well ahead. What John Carroll has to do is work out what to do with Matthew Primus. After competing in the centre ball up with Greg Stafford, they dragged into the Sydney forward line, takes him right out of the play. We saw him come off just before half-time, so Jack needs to do something with the rucks.
Okay, Primus is there at the moment to face off again against Stafford once more. Now, here's an interesting move. Carey was out on the ground. He's had to sprint to the interchange, and Orchard comes on. So a change in the balance for the Swans.
Just a size match-up. They had to react to the fact that there was no Port forward who was tall enough for Carey to play on.
So we get underway for the second half. Primus wins the first one. His hand pass goes astray. Kelly gets it across to Stafford. Oh, how about that from Mark Barry? That's Mooney. Puts it out wide to Lewis. Lockett stays in the goal square. Hardly moved out of it all day. Into O'Loughlin. Some sort of a hand pass. I don't know about that. Lewis. And he's put it into a nest of Port Adelaide defenders, and Bond takes the mark.
Very classy there, Lachlan. No, he's a very classy play. That was
very slick
We'd like to
handball,
have a real close look at the handball technique.
It certainly wasn't a hands ball because there was only one hand involved.
Flick pass, maybe call it that.
And that's Dew in the back pocket. Playing in his second game. He played one last year.
He's one of those young guys, Lee, we see walking the ground before we're going to the milk bar.
Yep.
They're too young, don't they?
Who are those guys?
Trouble for Kingsley. He's lost it. And the Swans roar into attack. Lockett on his own. Thought of playing on. Oh, there are plenty of players there. And Philandia. Well, Philandia gave Plugger one, so Plugger gives it back. Peter Philandia getting his second goal. Lockett still has just the one. And a man who's kicked 1,167 goals in his career almost looks as though he doesn't want to kick any today. He's giving them off. Oh, that was a fantastic little trap in amongst the traffic by Morton.
Lee, even though they're 34 points down, Port Adelaide, I'm not prepared at this stage to write them off, because I saw them last year against the Western Bulldogs out at Optus, about 7 or 8 goals down, and got up and won the game. So I'm not going to say this yet.
There's one thing for sure, Dougie, they won't give up.
They never give up.
Never give up.
They'll plug your way. Just to me, it seems like the Swans they look like keeping scoring. And for Port to win, they have to be able to shut down the Swans' scoring and obviously score plenty themselves.
Primus worked hard in the pack. Out to Burgoyne. Good punch away by Ahmad from Bode.
And Robbie Ahmad, and to this point of his career at Collingwood, has mainly played as a small forward, but looks like he's going to get a go to see if he can settle in as a small running defender. Certainly got the speed and flair to bring the ball out if he can handle the defensive part of the responsibility.
Wolf with help from McPherson. Oh, Creswell on the full. So the free kick in will be taken by Eagleton. Around Creswell he goes. He's impressed today, Eagleton. Cummings. Oh, he interfered. Down went Wolf. Naish. Oh, clever. Oh, just touched right on the line by McPherson.
That was a clever kick, wasn't it? I mean, he deliberately did that. He knew really to kick the ball in the air. It was a question of trying to get the right bouncing angle to bounce the ball through, and it was going to go through, except he just got his fingertips to it, did Daniel McPherson.
And that's the reason, Lee, why Port Adelaide certainly got Chris Nash's ability not to kick the goals over his shoulder, but his goal sense is very good.
Luff still in the back pocket. It's 80 to 47. Stevens can't mark. Franco's there. Saddington, I've been impressed with him in his first game. Ball's just gone over the boundary line. We've got Saddington for 7 possessions, and he started on the ground in his first game. Done well.
I'm just looking at Cummings at the minute. I'd like to see him come up the ground maybe at 10.5 forward. I just think he's struggling a bit up in the half forward line.
They're certainly not getting it through. I guess maybe they've decided to go to only 2 marking targets.
Eagleton, what a goal! Does he know where they are? Well, Nathan Eagleton, who last year in his first season played 18 games and kicked 10 goals, he's got 2 already in round 1 this year and has really stepped up. Magnificent. Valandia, O'Loughlin, good hand pass. Oh, Mooney, a bit of a fumble. Further wide to Lewis. Lewis, back to Valandia. Another one. Peter Valandia now is the Swans' leading goal kicker with 3. For 2 of them, he hasn't bothered to get his hands on the ball.
He should be playing down the road for the Carlton soccer team are over at the moment, playing against Adelaide West.
That's right.
Pushing the back.
Well, things go in the Swans' way. They lead by 33 points. Free kick to the captain, courageous Paul Kelly. In the direction of Lewis, who spent just about the entire first half on the bench. Huskus, Bond, Bode. Well, this time last year he was playing cricket in England. Hand pass in, Kingsley. Eagleton again to the 50. Juggles Saddington, who was a champion schoolboy athlete. He looks like a pretty fair league footballer. Out to centre wing. Creswell with Lyle. Ball's gone out, but he gained some meterage. The crowd want a free kick for anything.
And they need everything, I think, to get back into this.
Yeah, just watching young Eagleton reminds me of very much of a young Wayne Johnson. Just the way he goes to the left-hand side of his body, and just at times the way he moves.
Yeah, true. Don't think he plays with the physical
same way
capabilities as Wayne Johnson, but he's a fair bit younger and he's a fair bit lighter. He's got a lot of building up to do, but certainly very quick and very skilled on that left side.
It's been happening now, Lee. A feeling.
Yes, this game is there to be won now. It's Port have to really do something to turn it round.
Well, they might do it with a bit of physicality, perhaps. Mooney. Lockett with Paxman. A bad bounce for Plugger. Paxman gets the ball out of bounds.
Well, I've got to say, Plugger's moving the way a man of his size should. For the last decade, he's defied the laws of physics, I reckon, because he's had that speed and agility for a man of his size. But I've got to say, today he has looked, he might be fit. They've said that all summer, but just don't think he's got the ground level agility at this point. I don't know whether he can pick it up with a bit more match play.
I think, Lee, it's one thing looking fit, but are you really fit inside? Are you not aching or not sore?
It's more the reflexes dull and the balance dulls as you get older, as we all know, Dougie.
As we get older, Lee.
Unfortunately.
We can all plead guilty to that up here, can't we?
We all fit in that category, I think.
If not, we'd be down there.
No, I wouldn't. I never would.
Johnny would be.
Trying to be. Trying to be.
Kick by Bond. Oh, good mark by Poole. Only half a season last year. Injuries cut him down, but he could be a vital component this year. Wilson into Huskus.
Well, that was a great kick and hope, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, the punch got behind the Swans player. Kingsley got it across.
Oh, it's paid. Well, they might not have got the one earlier in the game, but they certainly got that one, which is certainly worrying.
I think it was actually good umpiring, because obviously he eventually paid that one. It was when he held on after that.
Yeah.
That was when it was a definite, and obviously the umpire had no doubt then.
That's right.
Well, here's young Nathan Eagleton again.
The crowd, of course, wanted the first touch, John.
Yeah, in fact, quite often they want it when there's no touch.
19-year-old into the breeze. It holds up a bit, but gets there. He's kicked 3.
Well, you'd reckon they'd have to get the next goal, wouldn't they, Port? This is, it's really the crunch time. They've just got to make up the margin. They've got to really stop the Swans scoring.
No doubt. Straight out of the centre with primers.
Well, they've kicked 2 goals each in this quarter. They can't go goal for goal and never win that way. They've got to string some together. Mead out of defence. Beautiful disposal to Bond. And a further pass up the ground. Eagleton one hand.
Missed the target. It's a game of inches. It's a precise game. And the kick from Bond just really Eagleton had to back and couldn't quite take possession. Takes possession. The loose man change begun.
I'm just trying to work out, Lee, who's picking Egan up at the moment. He's been a very, very good player, 3 goals. It looks like Stevens, who's been a fairly good player for the Swans as well.
Yeah, right now he is.
Here's Bond. Played in a premiership with the West Coast Eagles. Up towards Bruce, though. So once again, the kicks to the forward line going astray for Port. It's proving costly. Wolf's hand pass to Creswell. Centre of the ground, Lewis. Hand pass wide. Luff way up from defence. Kelly on the toe. Couldn't keep it in. It's a bit of a task for Stuart Dew in his second game, an 18-year-old kid picking up Paul Kelly.
I was just thinking exactly the same thing. It's a big call.
Lewis hooks it in, keeps it alive. O'Loughlin. Oh, he got a hand pass out somehow. Lockett! So Tony Lockett didn't bother getting his hands to the ball, but socket a goal, so he's got 2 now. Philandia, great roving. Mile, he's kicked it. In fact, too far for Lockett. Paxman.
Been very good, Paxman, hasn't he?
Yeah, very good.
Definitely getting a lot more distance going right to left than the other way.
Missed the target again.
Mead, Kuskis. Up to centre wing. Wilson's outnumbered 2-1. What chance? Ruse is there. Bond gets him. Well done, Michael Wilson. Kick to centre half forward. Drop short of Poole. And Saddington's in there once more.
Now look at the Swans defenders run.
Jason Saddington from the Eastern Rangers. Swans' #1 pick in the October draft. Robbie Armat goes for a burst. There was going to be a free. Advantage is paid. He's got a breeze at his back, and he blazes out of bounds.
That was very ordinary by Robbie Armat then. I mean, you have plenty of time to steady there, Lee. And what happens there when players run that fast, they should steady on their last 2 or 3 steps. They just keep going that momentum.
Yeah, that's even a guy like Peter Mathieu, one of the quickest players in the game, but he'll always break his momentum the last stride to balance before he kicks.
Kuskis kick. The 2 ruckmen, Stafford and Primus. Oh, a bit too slow to get rid of it. Kingsley. Wolf's played a game.
Played very well, Wolf.
Philandia, Lewis. Lockett, 1 out. Paxman a spoil. O'Loughlin, Mr. Magic. Back to Dale Lewis. 47 metres out. And pretty ordinary effort out of bounds on the full.
That was a fantastic chase over the outer side of it. The ball carrier has to really back his pace to get himself balanced and dispose of the ball. But you are vulnerable if there's a really hard chase from behind, and that Swans player over there is just fantastic to turn the ball over.
Kuskis, a bit of a juggle. Great mark by Kingsley. Bode. McPherson gets it away.
And the thing is, too, Lee, when you should know when someone's chasing you. I mean, we've played the game of football.
Well, you got rear vision mirrors on or something.
Well, me being a wingman, I was always very prepared to know what was coming behind me, but you always got to have that bit of a feel for someone coming from anywhere around you. Take the blinkers off, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Poole, Bode is there, but Creswell's got it for the Swans. Straight to the line.
Well,
yes, he's pinged him too.
That's where people often say, why didn't his teammate tell him the chase is about to tackle? Because they can't hear him. The crowd's roaring. That's the trouble. Need a microphone.
Franco around the man on the mark. Lyle in there. Now they've got a chance. Bode, first game. It's a goal. So Matthew Bode can be another one who joins the list with a goal with his first kick in league footy.
Again, Port have the challenge now to get the next goal. And getting consecutive goals is what they've struggled to do as the game has worn on.
Lyle, a hand pass. He threw it, said the umpire.
I think, too, Drew, last night, young Dooley for the Western Bulldogs had his first kick was a goal, I think, as well.
Yep. So after the throw by Braden Lyle, the free kick to Lewis to the 50. O'Loughlin. Well, some might have been surprised he was All-Australian last year, but hasn't he got class? And watch this! What a goal! Well, Michael O'Loughlin, fantastic finishing. A goal in each quarter. He's got 3 for the game to match the performance of Philandia. Primus had the advantage of a run at Stafford. Little toe poke by Kelly. Bond Trapped it only for Lewis. Saddington. Kid's done all right. And a chest mark back in defence to Stuart Dew.
I was going to say here, Lee, you'd look at maybe changing up Stephen Daniels, who's picking up O'Loughlin at the moment.
Yeah, might not be a good matchup when O'Loughlin has just got his rhythm and really got his confidence from just a few good possessions recently.
Lockett dived but missed it. Lade goes back with his hand pass. Paxman. Oh, he's come in dangerously. Mead. Oh. They're in heaps of bother here. Now for Landia. He is dangerous. Oh, what were Port doing? Well, we won't get a restart here for a little while. Dale Lewis has gone down for the Swans, and they're delivering the stretcher out to Louis and Dr. Abba.
Certainly, I don't know if we need much. He's off on a stretcher and he doesn't look well, but I'm sure Bruce will check that out.
Well, Troy Cook gets his first run for the game. He's warmed the bench. For Landia, he's had a day out. He's kicked 3 in this quarter. O'Loughlin couldn't grab it this time. There's Cook, desperate to get into the action. He gets it from O'Loughlin. Lockett, well, he stumbled forward, then he was in no position to take a mark that was in his area. Paxman has flogged him again. Adam Huskus on the rebound. Port need about 3 or 4 goals in a row. Lyle. Poole didn't attempt the mark. Knocks the ball on. Cummings, can he keep it in? Unfortunately, the answer is no. Scott Cummings has kicked 1 goal, 1 today.
I'd still like Lee to see Cummings come up the ground here. I know, as we mentioned before, Poole's the only marking option up around the half-forward line. I need something else, Lee. They need 2 marking chances there.
Who would you put forward?
Well, at full forward?
Yeah.
I'd maybe change Poole around and put him at full forward and bring Cummings.
Maybe, you think?
Yeah,
just
mate,
change?
I think bring Cummings, put him into the game. He's only kicked 1 goal. He's had no say in the game.
It's probably not working, so there's little to lose, I guess.
A couple of Port players after this. Naish, clever, back over his shoulder. Well, he can not only kick goals, Eagleton can take marks.
Yeah, can play this kid, can he? He can play.
He has been something to watch today, Nathan Eagleton. He's kicked 3. The whole team's only kicked 9.
From West Adelaide, local South Australian, turns 20 later in the year. Yeah, very, very promising player. Quick and good skills.
Certainly would be a contender for the Cadbury Mark of the Year. And he might match Valandia. 3 goals in a quarter. Well, it gets away from him. Cross breeze from there.
The breeze just took it away, didn't he? Again, he probably, because he wasn't far out and he tried to steer the ball through, he didn't kick the ball firmly and the breeze took hold of it.
I think too, Lee, there, just if we had a look at, if he had a chance maybe later on, he took 2 steps. He didn't have that 4 or 5 steps where you give yourself a bit of room to give a bit of a kick to the football.
Nix kicks in straight down the middle. Well done, Lade. Orchard underneath the ball.
That's good play by Orchard, because really that long kick in down the middle, if the defence or the opposition are allowed to punch or able to punch the ball back, the zone players are really in possession. But Orchard really got to the correct position and drew the ball up.
Roos couldn't get boot to ball. Roos gets rid of Poole. Swans by 38 points. And in the game over here last year, when they got to the front, they just flooded the back line and just cruelled the game and stifled Port Adelaide players. Bode's in there, Burgoyne. There's a bit of stifling going on right here.
I think the difference that night, it was a wet night, if I can recall, or very heavy dew at least, so it was damp conditions. This is perfect conditions. It's their problem is to be able to score, but it's more to stop the Swans scoring. 17 goals and we're not to 3/4 time. You're not going to be able to win the game if you can't restrict the opposition to much less than that.
Poole, good hand pass. Round the corner goes Morton. And Luff, who's found himself being a defender in the absence of Dunkley.
I'll tell you, Paul Roos had a great first half in this game, but it looks like Michael Wilson's been told to sit on Paul Roos.
Well, I think, as we mentioned, statistically, just that Roos and Stevens were just dominating, and they had to do something to stop Paul Roos continually getting the ball.
Kick smothered, comes to Stevens. John Stevens, support by Roos, who seems to be able to peel off and get out in the clear. And he's put this ball to the line.
The top spinner was Drew, wasn't it? He just kicked the top spinner, ran it out. But Paul Roos is just one of those players you just can't allow to float around on his own. He just is too good at getting key possessions and setting the play up. And the Swans try to get him loose as much as possible. It's going to be an interesting contest. He's a fair bit taller here than Michael Wilson.
McPherson, Creswell, good vision to Stevens. Cook, beautifully beaten by Bond. Shane Bond from the wing, short of half forward. The sun a problem for Kelly. Poole swapped him. Wharf another touch. Bursting through the middle is Kingsley. Cummings this time. Didn't quite carry to him. He's a long way from goal as well. Franco. Now Cummings is on the deck and out of the play. Burgoyne underneath it, and the ball's out in the forward pocket.
Very good play there by Kingsley there, Lee. I thought he's balanced and he just steady at that last minute to kick the footy. I just felt Cummings, could he have got to the contest there a bit better? Or?
Well, yeah, he certainly landed his feet. Whether the long sprawling dive. Problem is, if he dives for the ball and he can't reach it, then he's out of the contest completely. So he took the percentage option, but it just didn't work for it.
Now he tries to win in ruck, tries to wrestle himself free. He did pretty well. Burgoyne. Peter Burgoyne has matched Michael O'Loughlin and kicked a goal in every quarter. Late in the third term here, and if Port can get another one or two before the siren, it'd be handy. Creswell's kick goes past Lockett. Lockett's just seemed out of touch today. Eustace round the boundary line with the hand pass. Dew.
I suppose a good sign for the Swans too when Port looked to come out of defence over that far side. It was two Swans players blocking their pass, so that may indicate the Swans players are just running a little bit harder and better as a team at this point.
Port have managed 4 goals in this quarter, kicking into the breeze.
Complicated, Drew.
So Bond with the free kick. Wobbles into the breeze to centre wing, and Bode over the top. He played cricket last year, and now look at him play footy. And right in front, Mead has drifted up to the forward line and marked.
I tell you, there's still a bit of yell in the crowd here, Lee. They certainly haven't dropped off the Port Adelaide people.
Keep fighting them up. Well, I think they know they're getting fairly well supported in general play. I mean, the team, they're getting their reward, the crowd. Because Port aren't playing badly, but as we've mentioned ad nauseum, the Swans just keep scoring goals too easily from scoring shots. And Port are pushing and pushing and pushing, but just can't quite get close enough to really put the scoreboard pressure back onto Sydney.
Port seemed to scramble their goals, Lee, where the Swans seem to go in a bit more direct, a bit more purpose.
Interesting to see whether Mead has drifted here or been switched up from centre half back. Right in front, 40 metres out. He's got it. Aaron Mead just drifted up from centre half back to mark a centre half forward and kick his first goal for the day. And the Port fans are starting to find some voice late in the third quarter. Can they get another one before the siren? Well done by Stafford. It's chopped off in defence by Daniels. They've turned it over. Roos has it near centre wing. Got it from Nix. Back to centre half forward. Front of the pack, Michael O'Loughlin. His delivery is sensational. Saddington, well done, son. Carey. Valandia. He might get his 4th for the quarter. Oh, good tackle. Play on, says the umpire. Port lifting. Perfect defence. Ball comes out wide. Mark taken by Kingsley. Man-on-man contest. Wilson and Roos. Wilson, well done. Naish needs to hit it hard. Well done to Bode. First gamer. Bode to full forward. Cummings. Luff. The crowd lifting, the commentators lifting. Luff looking for the boundary line. They all want a breather at this stage, and I'll have one too.
I tell you, the young kid Bode was very clever.
He got it through, but then the final kick, Paxman had come out from defence and in fact was making himself an option directly inboard, but the kid really looked at the goals. Have a look at this. He just worked his way through this situation here, trying to work out what's on, but then You can't quite see him, but he was there.
Franco goes for goal, kicks from 50, Cummings in the goal square. Punched by Luff, it's still alive for the Port. Socket away by McPherson. Burgoyne with speed. Oh, he's gone. He's holding it. McPherson's tackle just lasted long
Just
enough.
good, wasn't he? Actually got the jumper, Johnny. He thought he was clear.
The free kick was actually paid for incorrect disposal because in the end he threw it out.
O'Loughlin. 20 possessions for Michael O'Loughlin, and he's kicked 3 goals. Helicopter kick to centre wing. Wilson can't mark.
Helicopter kick.
Had the funny old spin.
The rotary kick.
You're not happy with that one?
It was a good one. It's a good
Good on you,
call, that.
exactly what you meant, Drew.
You mean the rotor, not the tail spinning.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
understood you, Drew. Don't over that, mate.
Lade. Kick smothered by Stevens, then his kick is smothered. Comes back to Lade. Eagleton again. This kid could go nearly all the way. Oh, great kick to Cummings.
Just brilliant play by young Eagleton. I mean, he just come down the ground league, and we're talking about guys who balance on that last couple of strides. That was a perfect example for young kids out there to balance as you do
Well,
the football.
it's the speed and carry, then the end disposal. He had it all, didn't he, Eagleton? He was able to carry the ball, get himself balanced, and like Cummings made the dummy lead, but because Eagleton was clear, he was able just to drop back, and Eagleton just saw him dropping away from Luff and just really stuck it above his head, and that was a terrific bit of play.
I'm not quite sure who the guy who smothered the ball in this contest here beforehand.
Set it up.
It was a great play by their Port Adelaide player there.
This could make it a 20-point game. They're coming home with the breeze. They'd be right in it. Cummings kicks it.
Eagleton's coming forward here. If you can imagine, forward of the screen, Cummings is running to the outer side. He sees that Eagleton's got the space to hook it across his body, drops back, and it was really had to be a really precise kick, but it was good enough to make it work.
Yeah, it was a brilliant kick by young Eagleton, just beautifully placed up in the air to give Cummings that opportunity to sit back and take that mark. They're back in the game here.
Well, 20-point margin coming home with a breeze.
Well, they've kicked 6 goals into the breeze, which is all they managed in the first half. So I can promise you the breeze is going right to left. You mightn't believe us.
Well, this is the kind of luck. There's 30 seconds to go. Can they pitch another one?
Laid out of the middle. Plenty of distance with that. Punched down by Cummings. Off the ground by Creswell, Kelly, Wharf. He just gets it out of the zone. And out will do them.
And isn't luck's a fortune? That kick off the ground, I think, just hit Paul Kelly, and he regained possession. If it had actually gone past Paul Kelly, there was a Port player waiting for it. But that's what footy's all about, isn't it, really? It just evolves, and as much as everyone tries to manufacture it, sometimes the bounce of the ball, a lot of little things, it just evolves.
I think, Lee, you need that touch of luck every now and then.
Absolutely.
It's near the wing. There's only seconds left. There can't be any more scoring now. That is three-quarter time, and Port Adelaide have hit back hard. Late in the third quarter to go into the last break, just 20 points down and coming home with the breeze.
Well, they've kicked 6 goals, 2 then to Sydney's 5 goals, 1. So certainly they're getting the ball forward, and if this breeze is going to have an impact on the game, well, Port are certainly a definite chance.
David Ackland, who, like a few of the players, has gone for the shaved head. But he's bouncing the ball to start the last quarter. Lade does all right against Stafford. Maxfield, who kicked 2 goals in the opening 90 seconds of the game. For Landia, Saddington. Inside the 50, Sydney. Barry goes to ground. Well done, Huskis. Tackled by Barry. It's a hot ball in there. Cook hasn't seen much action. Slides it to Barry. Concedes some ground to Maxfield, who just hoists it high. Punch to the back, and Eagleton's got it again.
It's on downfield. They've got a couple of players free, but missed the target again.
Well, that was Eagleton.
There's been one difference in the game, apart from the accuracy of Sydney. It's that so often they've come out of defence and missed the target, Port, and that's given the Swans a chance to regroup.
They certainly have turned the ball over a lot more than the Sydney Swans.
When you yell out it's on, I'm looking around the crowd waiting for a blue.
Yeah, so
The play was on.
I went for the pen.
Please say play, not the punch-up. I'm going, where's the big blue here? Oh, did I scan the ground so quick?
I looked forward to the play, and there was 2 Port players free. I thought, here we go.
Normally runs away from a blue, so he turned around.
Oh, I was terrified when I heard the blue was on. Oh, no.
Stafford, it's whipped away from him. Stevens. And defensive mark by Lade in the back pocket. Port trail by 20 points.
He's been a lot better, Lee, on the ball.
Middle. Paxman up the middle.
And Paxman fires out the hand pass. Here's Mead, who drifted forward and kicked a goal in the 3rd quarter. Mead, Cummings, pull, off to Burgoyne. Can he slip the tackle? He goes to ground, flips it out. Well done by Luff. And it's out at the 50.
Well, I'm not sure why he played on, Pooh. It really, it's one thing to give the ball to the running player, and it could have worked out okay, and Burgoyne could have got through, but really it was just when you mark the ball 30 metres out from goal, 25 metres out, you really got to be pretty certain it's a free option to give it off.
Lee, you've got to go back, don't you, have a shot there. I mean, Burgoyne was under enormous pressure there. I mean, you don't handball with a bloke under pressure like that.
McPherson pinged here in the tackle, and Chris Nash will be shooting for goal from about 50 metres. The breeze behind him and across him. It'll open up the gap.
Drew, I'll make a statement here. This is the sort of bloke who can kick these goals. He's here for his goal-kicking ability. He'll bang it.
He's kicked 1 goal, 3 by my count today. It's on the breeze, it's there! And who was the legend earlier in the game who said, don't write off Port, they'll never give it up.
A good goal by Nation. I just want to say as well, I think too, Lee, with Lade going in the ruck and Primus on the bench, it's been a very good move by Jack Cahill.
That's maybe giving them a bit more mobility forward in the middle there.
Oh, Philandia to Kelly. Mooney. Quick answer for the Swans here. Oh, Maxfield, 1 touch would have been handy. And he's offline and missed everything.
Got to miss eventually. You just can't keep kicking goals from every shot.
Yeah, but because he kicked it out of bounds, it still shows 17-2.
It does.
Unrealistic attempt to mark, so free kick will be paid against Swans. Just up too early and not a genuine attempt to mark the footy.
I'm just watching Paxman and Lockett behind. Here comes Paxman. He's getting up the midfield, and Plugger's jogging after him, but he's not quite on, so he's not going.
Michael Wilson with the free kick. Up towards the 50. Roos holding hands with Bull. I'm not sure who was the instigator there, but Roos has gone back onto him.
I'll tell you how crucial this next goal here, Lee. If Port Adelaide can kick this goal, I'll tell you what, this ground will just absolutely run amok.
Yeah, certainly the momentum of the crowd, and I'll tell you what, it can be a physical force when they're really yelling.
Swans by 14 points. Early stages last quarter. McPherson out on the full. Well, he's made a couple of mistakes in this last quarter. He's pinged in a tackle and kicked one out on the full. And Nash, see whether he can do it again. He's a bit further out.
This one would be a miracle if he could kick it from here.
I'm not going to back him this time, Lee. I don't think he's too far out, 55 from there.
Stafford off, Carey on for the Swans.
Well, he's going to have a ping.
Oh, he goes in short to Franco. That's good play.
We talk about it all the time. When a player's on that acute angle, he doesn't have to hurry himself, and to be patient. He's only kicked the ball 10 metres, but this makes it a pretty easy shot. Just to be open up the angle. It doesn't take a long kick, and as you can wait, players can move. You might be the 6th, 7th, 8th leading target you eventually give it to.
This could be an 8-point game if he kicks this. Josh Franco. It's there. Well, Port have trailed all the way. The Swans kicked the opening goal of the match after about 20 seconds, and they've never led. But back they come, the home side. McPherson, this time, gets the hand pass out. Kelly. Long kick into the breeze. Lockett well placed. Didn't take the mark. Huskis. Oh, well done. Good judgment. Well, Tony Lockett has had 3 kicks, has taken 4 marks, kicked just 2 goals. There's Dale Lewis with ice to the knee, which is a lot better than knife to the knee.
Exactly, yeah. It's good to see Lewis has only got a knock to the leg there.
I wish, and I think he would wish too.
Here you go, Port again. Well done by... That was Dew getting it off. Up over centre wing. Poole's there with Ruse. Were they saying Ruse or Poole? They look an irresistible force at the moment. Wilson gives chase to his own kick, and it's out of bounds at half forward.
It is amazing. Look at the scoreboard here. Port's had 26 scoring shots to 19.
19, yes.
It's a fair difference there. Seven more shots at goal.
There's a lot of things in football, isn't there, Dub? But if you can kick 90% accuracy from shots at goal, you're not going to lose too many games.
Carey and Ruck. Wins virtually uncontested. Back out of bounds.
It's very rarely that a team is kept under 20 scoring shots. I mean, at the moment, Swans, of course, had 19, but 17-2 makes it a very big score.
Poole was Carey. Poole lost sight of it, but took the ball. That's fantastic. To full forward, Cummings. It's on the deck. Burgoyne, dangerous. He's got it!
He knew he was tackled, but was just able to get the ball on the boot. Yeah, geez, Eagleton and Burgoyne, haven't they been two fantastic, exciting second-year players who are really probably looking like they've got long league careers ahead of them.
Peter Burgoyne, a 20-year-old who played 15 games in the first season last year. He's kicked a goal in every quarter, and Port are within 2 points. 104 to 102. And in this last quarter, Port have kicked 3 straight. The Swans are scoreless.
I'll tell you what, Lee, Kelly's been well held by Kingsley, and Lyle's done a good job on Creswell, where Kelly and Creswell normally ran at 25-30 possession, only had probably 20 touches.
And Wilson starting to cut Ruse out of it, so Ruse has now got the centre-half back.
Lyle out of the middle, long to full forward. It bounces on. Yeah, both got it. No, touched. It's a point, and a point the difference. Well, have a look at this. Who touched it? Why wasn't it a goal? Was it the Sydney defender?
That is interesting.
Through his hands, John. Is that what's happening?
That's interesting because the field umpire is the one that's made that decision and called touched or clear. In my opinion, a contest that close to the goal line should be left up to the goal umpire alone. He's the bloke in the best position to see it.
Well, I think he actually had already indicated touched anyway, I think. Well, before the field umpire even come in.
If the field umpire comes in and signals touched, Lee, it plants a seed of misunderstanding in the goal umpire's mind, because he may think it was touched further up the ground.
I think the goal umpire had signalled that even before that.
Yeah.
But certainly a close call.
What's the rule on, John, if the ball's already past the goal? Can you still call it be touched if the ball's already over as the kid's kicked it?
The ball... Here we'll see it again here.
Let's have a look again.
I think he's kicked it through the Swans player's hands. Have a look at this. Yeah, just tips the fingertips.
May just touch the fingertips, but see the goal umpire there in the best position to see it. The ball has to be completely over the line, Hawk.
Yep.
So it's a point the margin. Here's Bode. He's done some good things. Probably a bit unlucky not to be given that goal. Swans free kick.
Creswell head down, tackled high.
It's an irresistible force at the moment with Port, isn't it? It's just a question, can the Swans able to turn the tide? And you look around the field and just wonder where it's going to come from. Certainly, Kelly, they'll be looking for their guns. They're the players, the O'Loughlyns. This is where good players have to stand up and really show a bit extra when the tide is against the team.
And there's no reason why they can't score goals into the breeze. The Swans did it themselves in the second quarter, kicked 6, and Port did it in the third quarter, kicked 6.
And essentially this boundary throw-in on the wing there, Paul Kelly has drifted into the forward 50 near Tony Lockett. Maybe they just think they need the goal.
Creswell, McPherson, and away to Philandia, and Paul Kelly outside the 50. Lockett, 20 metres short of the goal square. Here he comes!
I started to feel a bit sorry there for Mead there, Lee. I thought he was going to be absolutely
yes, I think Darren Mead then, yes, the Medal of Valour for that one. put himself in, but
have a look
it
at
has
this.
to be a precise pass, didn't it?
Right, spot on.
Well, he hasn't had a lot of shots at goal, Plugger, and we know he's a good kick for goal, but when you haven't had a lot of shots and you haven't really got your rhythm on this particular match, all of a sudden this is probably 50-50, a genuine 50-50 shot. Let's see if he can pull himself together, Plugger, and kick accurately under intense pressure.
Champions kick and lead.
Into the breeze and slightly across. 45 metres. That is a great kick.
No problems.
Lockett 3. Leo Barry off the ground and Stafford the ruckman back on, but he's not gone onto the ball. Stephen Carey is in ruck. Stafford's gone to half forward. Here's Baldy Carey going up and beaten in the middle by Lade. McPherson, oh, magnificent smother by Morton. Cook. Maxfield. The hand pass to Mooney. He's on the 50. In short, O'Loughlin. Well played, Mooney. Might have blazed away and gone for the glory. And now O'Loughlin, who's kicked 3.
Important centre-bound for clearance then, wasn't it? It was really about the, I don't know, maybe the 6th, 7th, 8th possession before it cleared. And but it was the Swans who got it in their direction, and then really players were able to get off their opponents on the way through.
Played a terrific game, O'Loughlin. Distance about 30 metres. He's hooked it. Behind.
Well, there's no doubt, it's just the last 3 or 4 minutes the Swans have stabilised the game. Now it's a question, who's going to get this ascendancy now? Can Port keep that run going, that momentum that they built up for the first 10 minutes of this final quarter?
I think you'd go very long if I was Steve Paxman, I think.
It was the first behind for Sydney since the 2nd quarter. They'd kicked 9 straight goals prior to that. Oh, bad hand pass. It gets behind Lyle. Gives the Swans a chance. And a ball up just inside the 50.
Good play then by Mooney. He was able to knock the ball back, and that's where it stays. That long kick in down the middle, if the ball keeps running into the centre square, but Mooney was up to the task of knocking it back into the Swans' forward zone.
Plenty of pressure down there at the moment, Lee. Both sides applying a heap of that.
And then at the moment, I was going to say it's pairs all over the field, but there's one loose player, Rowan Wharf, back in defence. So Port have got one spare player around this contest.
Oh, Kelly won a tough ball there. Cook to Philandia. Goal! Peter Philandia, the leading goal scorer on the ground with 5. And a bit of a breather for the Swans now. Lade goes over his head. Cook. Losing ground. Poole. Can't hand pass from there. That's a high tackle.
It's into the Swans have dropped the loose defender back just to try and have one spare man in defence for this part of the game.
Stafford's kick smothered by Bond. Here goes Bond. High tackle. Free kick to Port. Swans lead by 14 points midway through the last quarter. Wilson with distance. Gets through Cummings. Roos is back there. Oh, he hasn't got it. Cummings has got it. Oh, ball up on the point of the goal square.
Bit high there, Johnny Russo, maybe on Chris Nation.
He ducked into that.
He ducked into it. He's pretty short, if the player with the ball contributes to the high contact, it won't be paid. But that one certainly did look a bit high. But Roosie's grabbed the back of his jumper, and if Nation tries to duck under it and that contributes to the high contact, it won't be paid.
Thank you, John Russo, our 4th umpire. Here's a chance for Port.
That one will be.
It will be. That one will be.
Fantastic. The Poole is really a very good body ruckman. He gets his body into the taller player and really pushed underneath him, didn't he, John?
That's
really.
Right, yeah.
Stafford, I think sometimes in those occasions they're a little bit unlucky because Poole is really pushing his body in underneath Stafford. It's a bit like, well, what can Stafford do?
That's right. Poole, not the recognised ruckman, so obviously tries to use whatever tactics he can in an effort to pinch a free kick close to goal, and in that case it worked.
Darryl Poole kicks for goal. Only about 10 metres out. Got it.
pushed his body in underneath.
Yeah.
I suppose the left arm just got dragged.
Yeah, Stafford's arm goes over his shoulder, but I think you called it correctly, Lee. He really does play for the free kick perfectly.
Yeah. A bit soft, Johnny looked like. Looked a bit soft, I thought.
Yeah.
Margin back to 8 points after the free kick goal to Poole. Dickey's back on the ground, playing on Saddington on the wing. Hasn't seen much action since early in the game. Donald Dickey. Bond out of the middle. With distance with the breeze. Cummings in the middle of the chop. Swans getting back in numbers. Stevens looking for the line. Eagleton in pursuit.
I'll tell you what, Drew, I'd hate to be given the 3, 2 and 1 in this game. It'd be a very hard job to do.
Well, you are.
Bad luck you are.
Oh, I am. Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen.
And we want to know 15 seconds after the final siren.
Oh, no, what a nightmare job for me first up.
Welcome to 7.
Oh, I'm happy to be on board, Drew.
117 to 109. Crowd 31,230. So it built up after the start. Certainly wasn't that many at the start of the game. Organ all out of play.
In this situation now, Paul Roos has been the player who's dropped back as the spare Swans defender. He's just playing in front of the full forward line. It's a question for Jack Carr. What does he do? Does he send a player forward, another player forward, or does he just allow a spare man up his defensive end? They're the kind of instantaneous decisions coaches have to make on the spot.
Kelly just getting a tough ball out.
This is the spare man for Port.
Mark taken by Dew. Came off the bench. Mead. Dickey. Lyle. Short of the 50. Boom! Well done, son, in his first game. Sets up what might be a goal. Huskis. Oh, took too long. Balked. Should have given the hand pass. You're holding it.
Well, he should have, because we could see things about to be tackled. Unfortunately, Adam Huskis couldn't.
Still had hooks.
Great tackling, though, wasn't it, though?
Yeah, take those behind blinkers off.
Paul Kelly, another fantastic game. In the mid-20s in possessions. Mooney puts it out in front of Creswell. Goal here might be interesting. Goes short to Lockett. Awkward half volley.
Oh, whack! Push to the face is a free kick. Now that really is foolish by Tony Lockett. I mean, if he fends a player off in the chest, it's legitimate. If he fends him off in the face, it will be a free kick for high contact.
Here's Stephen Daniels back in the defensive 50. Looks to the outer wing, and Paxman, who's left Lockett. Well done, O'Loughlin.
Yeah, bad luck it was. So good coverage by O'Loughlin, because he pushed back and made it. Well, it had to be basically a 60-metre kick, and it went probably 50, but O'Loughlin intercepted it. That was Paxman. He ran off Lockett, as we can see. But just good defensive coverage then by Loughlin to get back into the space.
Just a wonderful play. The short pass, come unstuck. And here's Paxman getting plenty of it up in the middle of the ground. Miles away from Lockett. Huskis drives it along the centre half forward. Punch out by Luff. Nix. Oh, here's trouble. Wilson to the goal square. Cummings, and at the back, it's a chance here. Eagleton, another one. Well, the crowd at fever pitch as Port get to within 2 points again. Eagleton, what a day, he's kicked 4. Knocked up the ground by Lade, who's done well. Kelly the Terrier. AFL's most courageous, I think 4 years in a row. Oh, overrun by Maxfield. A chance here for Wilson. Long to full forward. It's still going. Luff did well back on Cummings. Well done, Troy Luff. Playing an unusual role. McPherson round the line. Kelly keeps it in. No play safe yet. Roos, mother.
Well, wasn't that an important bit of play? Well, the Swans had the numbers. They looked like they were going to clear the ball, but again, the speed of those small Port Adelaide players to get across and make the smother.
We know the appearance of Kelly and Roos there, Lee. Would you have gone out of bounds and maybe just disguised a little bit better?
Well, maybe. I think they're trying to clear. They know they've probably got to keep scoring as well.
Here's the youngster, Bode. Up to the forward pocket. Stevens takes the mark.
This is where the Swans have got a spare player. Will they use him? No, they've kicked to the pack.
Roos in front. Well done by Paul Roos. 5 marks coming up for his 20th disposal. Up short to Stafford. Bone still going. The kid played cricket last winter over in England. Now an AFL footballer. O'Loughlin with vision. Oh, great stuff. McPherson round the boundary line. He's done all right since he came on view. Lyle.
It's where they've got to look for the change of direction. They don't want to bring it straight down the wing into the pack of players if they can help it, and that's what he's done.
Stafford marks at centre wing. Saddington, the first gamer, out in front of Mooney. He dives, he can't take it. Orchard back to Mooney. Good run by Maxfield. O'Brien, rarely sighted today, mostly on the bench and in defence, but O'Brien kicks and hooks for a behind.
Yes, when you're on that half-back flank region, Doug, you've really got to try and take the ball out the other side if you can. If there's nothing on, you've got no choice. But really, eventually it was Lyle kicked the ball straight back to the tall Swans players.
Yeah, you've got to try and switch the play there, Liam. Just try and create something to change the ball to go the other side of the ground. Catch them out, the Swans.
Fuscus coming off and Feegit coming on for his first run. What a mighty kick, not far short of the centre.
Yeah, they got it through. That's what they had to do. They had to get it through, and they did.
Wilson, just outside the 50. Well done, Stevens to Wharf. Kick smothered. These Port players do come on and do the spoiling things, the 1%ers. Franco. Oh, the kick dropping in short. Cummings!
It's a difficult shot. He'll just have to think his way through, see if anyone can drop into the slot. They're making position. This is where a full forward wants to have the shot. Yeah. It'll be a Port player will have to absolutely get a long way clear. Let's see how he sets up. This is a tough shot, a real tough shot.
He won't pass it, Lee. Have a shot.
Well, they're all covered now. The Swans players have blocked the holes.
He's had just 3 kicks for 2 goals, Scott Cummings, and he can put Port in front for the first time today if he goals here.
It looks like he's just going to try and kick it fairly straight.
I'm not prepared to call it yet.
Well, those Port crowd are optimistic.
I think maybe in that situation there, I'd probably try that banana kick from that angle. It's very tight, Lee.
It's a pretty tight angle, yeah. I mean,
Kelly's kicked it out on the full. No, touched.
Be touched.
It's either a mark or it's out on the full.
It could be as if he's taken 2 grabs at the mark. The only thing it could be is if he's taken 2 grabs at the
second
mark.
grab,
That's one grab inside.
Oh, yeah.
Second grab outside, yeah. So the line has touched.
Good call, John. You've done well. Stevens. Wharf.
Now, here the Swans are going to come out. The question, can they maintain possession?
Carey had to wait for it as it floated into his arms at centre wing. Now O'Brien at half forward.
Jewett dropped off him to go back to Lockett, which is why O'Brien dropped clear.
Plugger! Well, that kept the crowd quiet. Lockett's got it right in front, about 12 metres out.
Yes, it was interesting. Just as the ball came through from Carey, Jewett who was playing, and O'Brien dropped back towards Lockett. O'Brien came at the kicker, and O'Brien ends up 20 metres on himself. It's, I guess that's what Lockett does to the opposition. They tend to think he's going to be the target. But Carey was able to find the correct option, which happened to be O'Brien, and then on to Lockett for this pretty easy shot now.
Paxman was certainly caught in front, probably 5 metres originally off Lockett, and had to go back, and Lockett just stood his ground and used his body to stop him.
Taking fair time. Well, he had 1 goal to half-time, and that was a relay 3, which he didn't earn. And if he kicks this, that'll be 4. Didn't look likely. Should kick it. Swans lead by 2 points. And now by 8. Well, in this last quarter, Port have kicked 5-2 to 3-2. The 20-point margin is now back to 8. Port will need 2 goals to win, and there's a couple of minutes remaining. Certainly time. Laid against Carey. Neither of them got it. It comes down to Franco. Up to full forward. No mark. It's on the deck for Cummings. Round the corner he goes. Oh, just misses to the right. There is still time.
They're the kind of things you just need that now when it's tight. Those bouncing balls just have to be able to find their way through, but they still keep pushing. It's in their end of the ground.
2 minutes left, 7 points the margin. Sydney hanging on. They've led all day. Carey, was that paid?
Yeah, paid, and can't cancel a mark, so it has to go back for Carey to take the kick.
I think it'd be fair to say, Lee, that the Swans overall today, I think it's probably been the better side, you think?
Well, I don't know about that. I just think their scoring efficiency's been so good. I think Port have been just as well. I mean, the scores have ended up close, and I think that's a fair indication.
That's nearly out of bounds. Feig at number 17. And we'll get a boundary throw in out of this.
This is where the run-down situation can apply a little, just to try and for the Swans to hold the ball in and just try and hold play up, seeing they're the team with the league and Port have to clear it.
Cook knocks the ball on, out of bounds, will be good for the Swans. Barry, who was benched a while ago, back on now. Mooney. Lockett the only forward inside 50. They swarm in now. Paxman paddles. O'Brien gets it to Lockett. This should seal it.
No throw.
Lockett kicked the goal, but it'll be disallowed.
Well, they're still alive.
O'Brien's handball to Tony Lockett was just a little bit too slick.
A minute 5 left on the clock, and 7 points the margin. Yes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Alp did pretty well to call it from where he was. Did we have a better view from here?
We certainly did.
So did he guess or what?
It certainly looked as though he did.
Franco, you're gone. Tried to beat the man and caught in Maxfield's tackle, and that could nearly seal
I was
it.
going to say, Drew, that was caused by the loose man back ruse, because really when Franco looked up, he could see it was basically 4 Swans against 3 Port Adelaide players, and therefore forced him to overplay the situation.
Barry in short, Nix to the 50. O'Brien, that's a mark.
I think the initial kick too, Lee, from a Port Adelaide player to go out wide at this stage of the game was not the right choice.
It was the same as the one O'Loughlin intercepted before. Mead got out clear, but it had to be such a long kick to reach him that it becomes a very difficult thing to do.
I think come down the corridor, particularly with 8 points down.
O'Brien looks as though he might have got a bit of poke in the eye, but whatever's happening, he's counting the clock down, and it's 14 seconds. Port need 2 goals to win. So the Swans are home, and they're doing a little bit what North Melbourne did on Friday night against the Eagles, just keeping possession. Now a longer kick by Maxfield. It holds up. Roos can't mark. It doesn't matter. Siren. Swans by 7 points. What a valiant effort by Port. They trialled all day. They got to within a point, but they could never get their noses in front.
And it's just so important. I mean, I think it's like the Bulldogs winning last night, the Swans winning here. If you can go and win a couple of games interstate and away from your home base these days, that is really means you're probably in for a pretty good year, because they're going to be tough to win those games.
20 goals for to 17-15. And welcome back to Footy Park. What a game it was. Port came from behind. It was like the tortoise and the hare. And Sydney, who jumped out to an early lead, hung on and won by 7 points. 124 to 17-15, 117. Philandia kicked 5 in a great performance. Lockett finished with 4. I don't know how, really. O'Loughlin 3, Maxfield, Kelly and Creswell 2 each. And for Port, Eagleton 4 and Burgoyne 4.
The 1998 AFL Premiership season. Proudly brought to you by Telstra, making life easier.